So we're just kind of doing a little testing here. I have a feeling the acoustics are pretty bad in here, which isn't going to work very well. But we're trying to test out um, what this looks like. Um, kind of trying a new place. So maybe some of my TikTok followers that are usually on the Bible study in the morning or live stream folks can give me some feedback. Hey, Shannon, good to see you. Um, if anybody is on, can give me some feedback. Um, does it sound like I'm in a well? Does it sound? Hey, Charlie, uh, Mars, good to see you. Does it sound pretty bad? Like the quality? Give me a little feedback on the quality of audio. It sounds echoey in here to me. So, um, like you're in a tin can. Yeah. Coming out as angry. I was hitting like. I can't see who you are, but I'm glad you're watching. Really looking for some feedback. It's echoey. Yeah. Documentary about John Wilkes Booth. Wow, that's exciting. A little bit of echo, but not terrible. Okay. Could be doable. What do I do? Some of you sound people. What do I do to get rid of that echoey sound? Sounds good, somebody says, Facebook user. What can I do? Do you hang curtains, put in those panels that absorb the sound? How do you fix that? Do you know who Shonis is? I could be his brother. Shunis. No, I don't know who Shunis is. But maybe a brother from another mother. Sounds fine. Bill says, all right, thanks, Bill. Hey, James, little afternoon delight, right? Good to see you, James. I'm on here the afternoon. Mike, are you on? I'm trying to test out. This is what y'all see from the other direction. Hey, Mike, I'm really kind of testing out. We moved some office furniture around and we're doing a couple of different things. And y'all can see the cuckoo clock. Well, you TikTok can't see the cuckoo clock, but there's the cuckoo clock. How about that, TikTok? I'm just kind of doing a little testing. Really, the audio sounds really bad to me, and I don't know if I can put some blankets around or something to get rid of the echo. But I'm always open, by the way, if anybody does want to ask any counselor questions. I'm always open to that. If you guys have any counseling questions. Hey, Kate, good to see you. It sounds okay, Janice says. All right, Janice, good. No Bible study, just on here to do a little content, I guess. Ask if there's any questions anybody has. Counseling, Saturday afternoon counseling questions. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have and offer any advice. Some blankets and pillows, possibly. Put on top. Yeah, that would be good. I think though up here where y'all can't see, I could put some curtains and blankets and stuff. It would maybe help me out a little bit. Hi, Tina. Good to see you. What do you think about that? A little more zoom in. TikTok. That's maybe too much. That's way too much Steve Levitt right there. Am I a drinker? You look puffy. Actually, no, I don't drink. I got drunk in 9th grade one time, and that's the extent of my drinking career. Don't drink, never used any drugs. I look puffy. I don't know what that is. Those room darkening curtains absorb sound even whenever they're closed. Nice. All right. Heather Nicole Shaw, Christy Galloway. Tina's inviting people, I guess. Tina, anybody have any counseling questions? I'd be glad to answer any counseling questions. I think I may be a little too bright also. Let's go down a little bit on the brightness. Yeah, Mike, yeah, if you want to jump on, you can. Are you doing a live too? Well, I'm doing counseling questions, so sure, Mike. I don't know how to do that for sure. Maybe you have to invite me. Don't say that. You look puffy. Don't say that on your first date. That would not be good on your first date. Mike, what do you got for us? I'm not sure how to do what it is, how that works. I am open to answering any counseling questions anybody might have. I've been counseling for 30 years, over 4,000 clients in my career. Marriage, family. I'm a specialist in the world of anxiety. I don't know if you guys can see back here. Those are my books I've written on anxiety. I have to invite you. How do I invite you? Let's see. There's a friend, manage. Man, Mike, I don't know how to invite you. Maybe explain to me how I invite you. I clicked on your name and I didn't see an invite button. What is it, Marty? She's getting a chuckle out of me in here messing around. Got 2 grown adult kids. Both think they are narcissists, possibly bipolar. That's a lot to deal with for sure. Sometimes it tells me, Mike, if I want to do something with you, but it just kind of scrolls up through and I'm not sure. Go off and come back on, Mike, and see if it does it. Your live may not be set up for dual lives. That's fine. Yeah, maybe not. I've had some, there it is. Invite Farmer Mike to go live together. Invite sent. Okay, I just sent you an invite, Mike. Y'all want to meet Mike? Mike, who's always on? Hey, Mike.
You did well.
Ta-da! How about that?
You did very well.
What are you up to today?
Well, we're getting ready to, Travis and I get ready to go to the basketball game here in a little bit. So yeah, that's what we're up to today.
That's pretty cool. Now, you're in Indiana, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you near Indianapolis?
We're 100 miles southwest of Indianapolis, 60 miles north of Evansville.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I sent you a message earlier today. You may not have seen it yet, a private message on TikTok. We had somebody in Indianapolis who was needing some help, wondering if you knew anybody up there, but you can check your messages.
Okay, I'll take a look at that
Yeah.
and see what it looks like.
What basketball game?
It's just a local high school basketball game.
Oh, the best. Some Hoosier business.
Well, and we have a very, very good high school team. Last year we won state. Basically got the same team back. So very, very talented young group of guys that just know how to play the game very well. And they play very good defense. They're quick jumpers. Got 2 sets of twins on the team.
No, that's cool.
It's really interesting because Travis and I always sit down on the floor. So it's always interesting to hear the conversation between those 2 twins.
They kind of know everything.
They're like, hey, you knew I was going to be there, right? And you wasn't there.
That's really cool. I love that. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
So it sounds like your gathering's going to go well.
Yeah, I think we have 20 people already signed up to come to it. So that's kind of cool. Got food on the way. It's going to be great. Got about 5 people that want to be baptized. So that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's come together nice. It's a, we're not trying to do a big, really it's just the folks who join the Bible study every morning wanting to get to know each other. So,
Well, and it's, what's been interesting for us on TikTok is to find that there's a lot of good people out there,
mm,
and
yes,
that's what we found out.
yeah, totally true. Marty was actually saying that earlier today about, she had a ton of more Bible requests come in, and we're finding folks who want to send out a Bible and things like that. And she made the comment this morning. She says, it's amazing and it's kind of cool to know that there's out there in the world, there's other Christians who are like-minded and blah, 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 blah. So it was kind of exciting for her. She was making that connection too. Yeah, we end up just getting to see all the knuckleheads. We don't get to always see all the good folks out there.
Yeah, but don't we sometimes focus on the negative more than the
So true. So true. It's why I love whenever good people find each other,
Yeah.
Uh,
And you know what what you do, the way you handle what we call the trolls,
mhm.
you do very well with that, and the girls do a very good job of keeping control of that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that fell into place, Mike. I wish I was some brilliant guy that made that happen, but those gals just took charge. TikTok, I just don't manage. I don't do much with. They took charge and now it's really their ministry. The TikTok deal is their ministry and yours and the guys that show up every day and address other people. TikTok, God has just done an amazing thing there. Beautiful thing. So,
Yeah, I think it's interesting because if you go into TikTok and you go into lives and you can tell right away what it's about, and anytime you can get 60 followers that will come in, be a part of the Bible study consistently, I think you're doing very well.
yeah.
Because there's just other ways to get that attention, that's not bothering.
I don't think anybody wants me taking my clothes off either. So, yeah. But, I do think that the consistency of what we do every morning, 7:30, I think that consistency does play into the consistency of people showing up for the lives for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I think that works very well. And for me, it's like I told you at the very beginning. Long time Christian, very uneducated Christian. And so, but yet and I think the 30 minutes makes it very well because it gives you time to digest what, even though it may be just 10 verses.
Yep.
It gives me time to digest it and think about it the rest of the day. So. And there's something about following along in the Bible that helps.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was raised on this kind of exegetical teaching that I do, and it's the only thing I know really, and it seems to work. And as you know, I don't spend hardly any time prepping for the Bible study. I let God do whatever He's going to do and say whatever He's going to say, and I'm looking for what I'm going to take home from what I just read, what I'm going to apply to my life from what I just read, and it seems to work for folks. It's an attractive way to do it, I think. So, but I like your agenda too. Your agenda. I like your platform a lot too. You've got what is your nonprofit? TBH.
We're just basically Travis Burkhardt Foundation.
Yep.
Which is after our son Travis, who was involved in the car accident, and here in 2 weeks we're coming up on 15-year anniversary of his accident. And so, what happened was he went into a spin on the ice, going back to college, and it was just one of those things that we end up in the hospital, and I did an interview this week on a radio show this week and talked about the fact of some of the stuff that we went through. We had a neurosurgeon that he was an atheist. And I approached him and told him after about the second day, I guess it was, that I was praying for him. And he looked at me and said, "Those prayers don't do me any good. You need to pray for your son." And he said, "I don't believe in those." And I said, "Oh, don't don't misrepresent this, because I said, I pray for my son every day, but I said, I pray that God gives you the ability to take care of my son and that you do it in a knowledgeable way with a lot of experience. So I said, I'm going to continue to pray for you every single day. And, you know, he brought us into the room the first night, and he told us, he said, well, he said, you people understand this, as he always talked to us like we were, you know, kindergartners. And he said, you people understand this is not a good situation. And I said, our son's in ICU. I get this completely. I understand.
Yeah.
And he said, well, he probably won't make it through the first night. And if he does, you're probably going to want to look for facilities to put him in and forget he was ever born. And
wow.
So that was the kind of guy we was dealing with. And, you know, I've tried to get back into hospitals several times to talk to doctors about that speech and what it does to families. And it, you know, it cares. It's not that we're that foolish. You don't have, I mean, you probably need to be blunt with, you know, whenever parents are going through that, but man, that stuff there it was just uncalled for. And, you know, I would go in of a morning and the guy would just have all his staff in tears. He would be cussing all of them and just ripping them. And that was the guy's behavior. And then it come to a point where we could never get him to talk to us. And because he would always be there, or, you know, we could never catch him. He would slip out the side of ICU. We could never catch him. I caught him one day. And I won't use his exact language, but I yelled at him down the hall and I said, Doc, you got a minute? I said, we haven't had an update in 2 weeks. I really need to know where we're going. And so he yells at me down the hall. He said, I've done all I blankly blank can do for you people. I don't know what you want from me. He said, I've done everything for your son that I can do. And so I go toward him. My mother was there, and she started to come up out of her chair. And the bad part was there was 4 other families going through the same thing we was, and this was all of us as doctors. And so I go to him, and I said, Doc, I said, there's one part of your message or your sentence that was absolutely correct. And he said, what part's that? I said, the part where you said you've done all you can do for my son. He said, yeah, what's that mean? I said, it means you're fired. I no longer need you. I said, you've done nothing. You gave up on my son the very first night. And I said, you've done nothing for him ever since. So anyway, make long story short, we had so much help that, to go back to the original question of what our foundation does. So we had so much help from churches, people we didn't know. There was fundraisers. There was all kinds of money raised to help us. So when everything settled, there was a group of us that got together and said, we need to start a foundation to help families going through something similar, because what people don't realize, there's so much stuff that happens after the insurance stops.
Yes.
You know, you've been there.
Yep.
You know what it's like.
Yep.
And so, you know, deductibles, we bought 22 iPads for autistic kids for speaking devices. We'll buy medical equipment. We'll buy, help them with gas, getting back or to appointments to the hospital, maybe food, maybe hotels, just a whole variety of things that we start where insurance stops.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
I love it. I love that. And to me, that's not relying on government to take care of me. That's not relying on the hospital. That's taking matters into your own hands and making a difference. That right there is how you make a difference, and not wait for somebody else to do it. And I love it, Mike. I love people that do things like that. I'm not waiting for the Bible League to get a Bible over to Ethiopia. We're sending some. We found a pastor, and you just take it into your own hands and you do your little part.
Yeah, and if you just pick away a little bit at a time, it helps, because the other side of that was we didn't tell the story for 2 years, but Travis actually died on the scene. And we did. So his accident was in February. So by October, you was on Harvest Crew. You know what this is like. So we was in the middle of harvest, and I come in one night, and Travis had called me over and he said, I died. And I'm like, no, you're still here with us. And I look over and his mother's standing in the door and she's got tears rolling down her cheek. She said, no, he told me that today too. And so he proceeded to tell us that he died and he met Jesus. And so we said, okay, so what was that like? And he said, lots and lots of bright lights, colorful lights. And we said, like a rainbow. And he said, no, just lots of colors and lots of bright lights. And we said, okay, so what happened after that? He said, well, Jesus looked at me and said, I love you, and it's going to be okay. And I said, okay, so what did you say back? He said, well, I told him that I loved him. And he described, long hair, the white robe, the beard, the whole thing. And then I said, okay, so what happened after that? And he said, he gave me a choice. He gave me a choice. He said, yeah. He said, I could either go with him or I could stay here. And I said, so what was your response? He said, I told him that if I didn't stay here, my mom would be really mad at me. So we didn't tell that story for 2 years.
Yeah.
And we run into the EMTs that work his site. And we was thinking, it was the first time we'd come in contact with him. And so we're telling him, he tells us the story. And so we told them what he had said. And they both looked at one another and just turned white. And they said he did die. Said one of them said his car, he was in a little Grand Am, and his car was so crunched up that we couldn't get him out from underneath the steering wheel. And said all of a sudden his heart had stopped. So she said, I'm crawled in there and I'm beating on his chest. And I'm yelling at him, telling him, you can't leave me. I know your mother and your father. You cannot leave me. You got to stay with me. She said, I did CPR on him for a good little while. And she said, all of a sudden he takes this great big deep breath and he comes back. So, like I said, we didn't tell anybody that story for 2 years.
Wow.
But, we could see when he told us that he was very sincere about it, So yeah.
Those kind of stories don't need to be told. And, Jesus is real. God is the real deal. As many people as want to say no, that's the real deal, man. And that's the theme of, my wife that passed away with cancer, that was her theme as she was dying. She just kept saying, tell my story, tell my story, tell my story. And that's what you're doing, is we're supposed to tell the story and let God do the rest and let people decide what they want to decide. But tell your story, man. Hey, Tyler, glad you're on, brother. I'm thankful for your story for sure. And your ministry, the things that you guys are doing, your nonprofit. What a great thing to do, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, listen, Mike, I didn't intend to be on here too long. I need to jump off. I'm going to sit in a deer stand and look for some pigs tonight. So, I got about 30 minutes to get back to the deer stand. So I'm going to head back there. No, dude, I love that. I love the story. And, that's where I think that's where Jesus meets people, is whenever they hear the story. And man, what an honor for you to get to share your story. So thank you.
Well, it scares me when I see people pop on to your live of a morning and they're not a believer. Because I think, what if you go through what Travis went through but you don't get the chance to come back?
That's right. No, that is why we tell the story. It's why we spread the gospel. It's why we have the Great Commission. Is we want people to know the truth. So, well, thank you, Mike, for sharing your story. Enjoy your basketball. Man, there is nothing better than small town high school basketball. Just the best.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, all right, brother. We'll see you later. All right. Bye. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get running here. But Tyler, I saw you on here. Bobby, I saw where you were saying your last name is Burkhart. Also, you ought to let Mike know. Let Mike know your last name is Burkhart. That's cool. Mike's on every morning at Bible study, so maybe you guys can connect. Bobby, good to hear your story for sure. Keep the faith is in the house. That's great. All right, Shannon, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to jump off. Tina did ask a question on Facebook. Tina, are you still here? I think you may have had a question. What's your best advice for people with anxiety and or OCD? I know several people who suffer from both. This is my specialty. This is what I talk about all the time. I have a 5-part system. I'll relay to you guys real quick. First, have to go to the doctor, see what's going on chemically, see if there's anything medically that needs to happen. Number 1. Number 2, get rid of your stinking thinking. Do cognitive therapy on yourself. Train yourself to believe truth rather than lies. Number 3, reduce your stressors. You have to reduce your stressors. You can't go through life staying as busy and over brain activity as possible. So reduce your stressors. Number 4, grow spiritually. The more you trust God, the more peaceful you'll be. The more you accept God's sovereignty in your life, the better you'll do. And lastly, be willing to accept the worst case scenario. Be willing to accept those things that you're so afraid of, because when God is in control, then we're good. Bobby Buckets, MVP hoops, junior, senior year, Western Pennsylvania. So we get Bobby Buckets. I love it, Bobby. I bet you're an interesting dude, man. I'd probably meet you and really want to hang out with you, Bobby. I was basketball, football, small town Texas, small town guy too, man. I just love that stuff. So Bobby can hoop. All right, Bobby. Now I got you. I got you. I love it. All right. I got to get running. I got things to do. I'm gonna go pig hunting. So I see this setup is working all right. So we'll probably try it like this tomorrow morning for Bible study. Every morning, 7:30 Central, we have Bible study. Every morning, 7:30 Central. Tons of people show up every morning. They all know each other. It's all good stuff. So thank you guys for hanging out with me for a little bit. 6'4", 280 now. Wow. Dude, Bobby, big dude. You're a big dude, Bobby. 6'4", 280. A big old boy, as we would say down here in Texas. You're a big old boy. That's awesome. All right. I'm out. You guys have a great day. Keep on keeping on. Bye-bye. Facebook, love you guys. See you later. Oh, bye-bye.